I dream of blood again. The night air is thick and wet, and in my hands I hold something heavy and sharp. A figure pleads in the darkness. I hear whimpers bouncing off alley walls. My heart, or is it his heart, hammers in my ears. In the dream, I'm both witness and perpetrator. I feel the weight of the weapon as it arcs down, a terrible inevitability in motion. A sickening thud. Warm droplets spray across my face. The figure collapses, limbs jerking in their final throes. I stand over them, chest heaving. There's a giddy rush coursing through me that isn't mine, cannot be mine. It's as if something inside me exults at the violence, purrs with satisfaction. I want to drop the weapon and run, but I also want to keep going. These twin desires tear at me, freezing me in place. The alley swirls with shadows. Under a flickering street lamp, I glimpse the fallen victim, eyes wide in shock, mouth silently forming a question they'll never ask. My stomach churns with guilt and horror. Yet, in the dream, I crouch down and almost tenderly brush a strand of hair from the victim's bloodied face. All I know is that they didn't deserve this. Somewhere nearby, a pane of glass reflects the scene. I catch sight of the killer's face, my face, splattered with blood and twisted into a chilling grin. My reflection's eyes gleam with the triumph that I, the dreaming bystander inside this body, do not share. A cold shock of recognition washes over me. I try to scream, to stop what is happening, but no sound escapes. In that moment of lucid terror, I realize I'm not in control at all. I am a passenger in my own flesh, a helpless witness to my hands doing the unspeakable. The vision always ends the same way, with the reflection in the glass suddenly whipping its head toward me, as if noticing my presence. Those identical eyes lock onto mine. The lips in the mirror move, shaping words I cannot hear, but I know they're meant for me. Then the world shatters into darkness, and I fall. I wake with a lurch, nearly knocking my forehead against the bus window. My throat burns with a stifled scream. For a moment, I don't know where I am. The nightmare clings to me like a damp shroud, my pulse racing as if I really had been running or chasing someone. Outside, the early morning light reveals endless stretches of fields and telephone poles. The coach bus rumbles along the interstate, on the last leg of its overnight journey. My reflection in the window glass is pale and wide-eyed, thankfully free of blood. Just a dream, I remind myself. It's always just a dream. But it never feels that way. These nightmares have plagued me since I was a kid, visions of violence so vivid I'm convinced they're real until I wake. They faded for a while in my 20s, but recently they've returned with a vengeance. This last one was the worst yet. Usually, I only see through the killer's eyes. I don't often see my face doing those things. The fact that it looked exactly like me. I shudder and run a hand through my sweat-damp hair. "You okay there, buddy?" comes a voice from across the aisle. An older man in a seed cap peers at me, concern in his wrinkled eyes. I realize I'm breathing hard and clutching the seat rest. "Yeah," I manage, forcing a weak smile. "Bad dream." He gives a knowing chuckle. "Must have been. You were tossing something fierce in your sleep. Thought you might be having a fit." I mumble an apology and turn back to the window. My hometown will be coming up soon. The bus driver announces the next stop, Coldwater, population just under 5,000. I haven't been back here in over a decade, not since I left for college. Not since I tried to leave all the darkness behind. I close my eyes and press my clammy forehead to the cool glass. Coldwater. I never thought I'd return, but Mom had begged me on the phone. "Come home, Ethan. I need to tell you about your father, about your family." Her voice had been so weak. A week later, she'd suffered a stroke. I was afraid I might never get the answers she promised, but by some miracle she pulled through enough for me to see her. Now, as the bus slows, I feel the weight of years pressing on my shoulders. There are questions that have haunted me all my life. Questions about the father I never knew, about the nightmares, about why I feel like something inside me might be broken. Maybe Mom can finally shed some light. If not, I don't know where else to turn. Homecoming. The bus drops me off at Coldwater's tiny gas station depot. A blast of autumn air hits me, smelling of dry leaves and distant bonfires. Even after years away, the scent pries open a box of childhood memories I thought I'd sealed. "Ethan? That you?" calls a voice. I turn to see a stocky man in a sheriff's uniform stepping out of a patrol car. He's older, mustache thick, but I recognize him. "Doug Pritchard?" "I'll be damned." He smiles and shakes my hand. We weren't close friends, but in a town this small, everyone knows everyone. "Heard you were coming back. How's your mom holding up?" "Stable, hopefully," I say. "I'm on my way to see her. She said she wanted to finally tell me about my father." I study Doug's face for a reaction. Doug's expression falters. He clears his throat. "Ethan, I'm sorry. I assumed you knew. Your father, Lawrence Bellamy, passed away last month." "My father died?" The news hits me like a punch. I never even knew the man, yet my knees threaten to buckle. "How?" "Likely a heart attack. He was living out on the old Bellamy farm just outside town." Doug grimaces. "I figured your mom or someone told you." I shake my head, trying to process it. Lawrence Bellamy. A stranger's name, yet my father. Here in this very town all this time. Questions churn in my mind, but Doug's already moving on. "Listen, I hate to bring up more bad news, but be careful around here," Doug says in a low voice. "We've had 2 incidents lately. Murders." My heart, already unsteady, skips. "Murders? Here?" "Yeah," he sighs. "One was a young guy found near the old quarry a few weeks ago. And 2 nights back, Martha Ellis, you remember her? Found in her home. Brutal. No leads yet." A chill travels up my spine. 2 nights back, I was on the road, dreaming of blood. And Martha Ellis. I flashed to a memory of a kindly woman handing out caramel apples every Halloween. My mouth goes dry. "Thanks for the warning," I manage. Doug nods, patting my shoulder. "If you see or hear anything strange, let me know. And give your mom my best." He heads off to his cruiser, and I'm left standing in the morning sun, reeling. In minutes I've learned that my father was a reclusive neighbor I never met, and that a woman I knew was slaughtered on the very night I dreamed of death. None of this feels like coincidence. I turn and begin the walk to Coldwater Medical, my duffel heavy on my shoulder. I have a feeling the answers waiting for me won't be easy to face. The waking nightmare. In a small hospital room, I find Mom propped up in bed, eyes closed. My heart stalls until her eyes flutter open at my approach. She manages a weak smile. "Ethan, you came." "Of course, Mom." I gently squeeze her frail hand. It feels so light, like a bird I could crush if I'm not careful. She draws a rattling breath. "I prayed I'd have a chance to talk to you, to tell you what I should have told you long ago." Her voice is barely above a whisper. "About your father. About your brother." I feel the blood drain from my face. Brother. I knew it was coming, but the word still hits hard. "So it's true," I murmur. Tears shine in her eyes. "Yes. You had a twin. I named you both Jacob and Isaac. But I only raised one of you." Her throat constricts on a sob. "I was trying to protect you." "Protect me from what?" My words come out harsher than intended. I've carried a lifetime of confusion about my father, and now there's a brother in the mix. From your father's family curse." Her voice steadies a bit. "Your father, Lawrence, he became obsessed with an evil legacy. Old magic from his ancestors. When you two were born, he believed one of you was marked by a darkness they had summoned." She pauses to gather strength, and continues in a haunted tone. "The night after you were born, I found Lawrence whispering in some ancient language over your cribs. The air around you felt wrong. I grabbed you and pulled away, but when I looked at your brother," her voice breaks. "I swear, his newborn eyes looked at me with a mind far older than a baby. It was like something else was gazing out." A chill prickles over my skin. In my nightmares, hadn't I felt a similar gaze? "I panicked," she says softly. "I fled in the middle of the night with you. I left your brother with Lawrence. I was so scared, Ethan. I thought if I separated you from whatever that darkness was, you'd be safe." She closes her eyes, and I realize she's ashamed. I squeeze her hand. "You did what you had to do to protect me. I understand." My voice shakes, but I mean it. Part of me is angry, yes, angry she never told me, angry at the stolen chance for a family. But looking around this dying town and remembering my nightmares, I do understand. "I hid you and changed your name," Mom continues. "I never spoke of Lawrence or the baby I left behind. Over the years I heard only whispers, that Lawrence kept your twin hidden out at the farm. People said strange things happened there, lights in the woods, animals disappearing. I didn't dare go back. I thought my silence and prayers would be enough to keep the evil away from you." She opens her eyes again, filled with guilt. "Maybe I was wrong." "The murders," I say. "We both know what I'm asking." Mom nods, a tear tracing down her cheek. "After your father died, I feared the darkness and your brother might be free. And when I heard about those killings, I knew. The timing, the way they happened. It had to be him." I feel cold all over. Even though I've suspected it since this morning, hearing her confirm it makes it real. My twin brother is behind those murders. "He'll come for you, Ethan," Mom warns, tightening her grip on my hand with surprising strength. "Lawrence used to say you two were two sides of a coin. That one twin must consume the other to fulfill the curse. I never understood it fully, but I think your brother believes it." My mouth is dry. Consume the other. The words from the journal later will echo this, but I don't know that yet. It just sounds like a nightmare, but my life already is one. How do I fight this? I whisper. She shakes her head weakly. I don't know. Lawrence kept journals, old books. Maybe something in that farmhouse can tell you how to stop him, or stop what's inside him. I don't want to leave you. I start. Go, she croaks, urgency flaring in her tired eyes. You might be the only one who can end this. I lean down and kiss her forehead. I love you, Mom. I love you too, my brave boy, she whispers. Be careful. Please. I force myself to release her hand. As I step out into the hall, I look back to see her watching me, lips moving in silent prayer. I don't want to make her cry anymore. I need to end this nightmare, for her sake and for mine. Into the darkness. Evening shadows stretch long as I drive my mother's old pickup out to the Bellamy farm. The place lies at the end of a rutted dirt lane, shrouded by overgrown oaks. By the time I spot the farmhouse, dusk has settled, painting the sky bruised purple. The house is a sagging two-story structure lost in weeds and vines. It looks dead. I kill the engine and step out. The air is eerily still. A single crow watches from a crooked fence post as I force open the front door and enter my father's house for the first time. The stench of mildew and neglect curls in my nostrils. My flashlight beam cuts through motes of dust as I sweep it over a foyer cluttered with broken furniture and scattered papers. Every step on the warped floorboards announces my presence with a groan. In the hallway, I nearly trip over a picture frame on the floor. I pick it up and my heart hitches, a faded photograph of my mother, younger and smiling, cradling 2 newborn babies swaddled in blue. My twin and me. So he kept this. I set the photo gently on a side table, throat tight. A sudden sensation prickles the back of my neck. I feel watched, though I know I'm alone, at least for now. I move quietly, passing a living room filled with dusty chairs and a cold, ash-filled fireplace. The whole house feels suspended in time, waiting. I find what must have been my father's study. The flashlight illuminates warped shelves overflowing with books and loose pages. The walls are covered in strange symbols drawn in dark paint or charcoal, spirals, staring eyes, cryptic sigils that seem to writhe in the corner of my vision. On a heavy wooden desk lies an open leather-bound journal amid burnt-down candles and dried herbs. Swallowing my dread, I step closer and skim the journal. The handwriting is cramped and feverish. Phrases leap out. Twin-born, twin-bound. Vessel and shadow. The unspeakable one. One must consume the other to be whole. A crude drawing shows 2 figures intertwined, one dark, one light, beneath a pair of black sun symbols. Cold certainty slides into my gut. This explains everything. My visions, the murders, the inevitable confrontation. My father orchestrated this nightmare from the start. He believed one of us would embody some ancient evil he called the Hollow Master, and the other twin would be the final sacrifice to let that evil fully into our world. My brother wasn't born a monster, he was molded into one. And I was kept in the dark, quite literally the light to his shadow, until the time came. A floorboard creaks behind me. I whirl around, heart pounding, and shine my flashlight down the dark hallway. "Hello, brother," a voice says softly from the darkness. It's as if I'm hearing an echo of my own voice, warped and resonant. A figure steps forward at the edge of the light, and I feel the blood drain from my face as I confront a living mirror of myself. The voice is calm, almost gentle, and for a heartbeat I entertain a wild hope that maybe this isn't a threat. But as he steps fully into the glow of my flashlight, I see the truth. I am staring at myself. He's my mirror image in every outward way, the same height and build, the same sharp features and unruly brown hair. But the similarities end in those eyes. His posture is too stiff, as if held up by invisible strings, and his head tilts in a way that reminds me of a predatory animal sizing up prey. His eyes reflect the feeble light with an inhuman gleam. It's like looking at a version of me stripped of all warmth or mercy. I tighten my grip on the flashlight, my mouth dry. "Jacob," I whisper, testing the name. He smiles faintly. "So she told you?" His voice carries the slightest echo, a resonant undertone that sets my nerves on edge. "Jacob was the name our mother gave me," he says. "Father called me something else. He called me X." A chill runs through me. X. As a child, I dubbed the killer from my nightmares Mr.X, without understanding why. Some part of me always knew. "Why are you doing this?" I asked, throat tight. "Those people, you killed them. Martha Ellis, why?" He tilts his head the other way, regarding me almost pityingly. "Because it was necessary." The matter-of-fact tone makes my skin crawl. "Father's death freed me to complete our family's work. The signs are all in place. Tomorrow night the moon turns blood red, the stars align. It's our birthday, brother. Time for a reunion." He paces slowly, and I match his circling movement, never letting him out of the beam. My heart pounds against my ribs. "Father prepared me for this moment," he continues. "All my life, I have trained, learned, sacrificed, waiting for you. For us." "Trained to do what, exactly?" I ask, voice shaking. "To transcend, A hunger lights in his eyes. When one of us consumes the other, we become whole. The vessel and the shadow conjoined, the gateway opened. I will be the flesh that the hollow master fills and moves in. This world will tremble at what I become. His words pour out with fervor. These are not spontaneous ravings, but a doctrine he's reciting. I realize he is utterly lost to Father's madness. You're insane, I breathe. None of this was our choice. Father did this to you. We can walk away from it, Walk away? He gives a soft, cold laugh. There is no escape from what we are. You have no idea, do you? All those nights you spent safe in your warm bed, I was here, in the dark, honing the power inside me. I saw you in my dreams, living the life stolen from me. Do you know what jealousy can do when it's stoked by something ancient and evil? His composure slips for a moment. Bitterness cracks the monotone of his voice. I hate you, brother, even as I need you. You are the final piece of me. I'm sorry, I whisper, and I mean it. Sorry he was left with that monster of a father. Sorry for every lonely night that shaped him into this. My apology only makes his face harden. Enough, he says, voice harsh. I've waited long enough. The temperature in the hall seems to plummet as he fixes me with that predator stare. Shadows pull around his feet unnaturally, gathering as if drawn by his will. Always drawn to the light, he murmurs, glancing at the beam of my flashlight on his chest. A slight sneer curls his lips. Let's fix that. The light, he hisses, eyes flashing angrily. Still playing the good twin, I see. With unnerving speed, he lunges. I swing the tire iron, but he moves with inhuman grace. He sidesteps and grabs my wrist with a grip of steel. Pain lances up my arm as the iron bar clatters to the floor. His other hand clamps around my throat and slams me back against the wall. I choke, kicking desperately. He's so strong, far stronger than any normal man. My vision bursts with black spots as he lifts me almost off my feet. The flashlight falls, its beams spinning erratically. In its wild light, I see his face inches from mine, contorted with animal ferocity. Yet even now, his voice is soft, almost tender. Don't fight, brother. This is how it was meant to be. My lungs scream for air. Panic surges, edged with a strange haze. In that haze, I feel a presence pushing at the edges of my mind, a whisper that is not my own. Open to me, you shall be one in darkness. Whether it's Jacob's thoughts or the hollow master itself, the alien voice drives me into a frenzy of fear. Summoning a last spasm of strength, I rake my free hand across his face, my thumb jabbing hard at his eye. Jacob roars and recoils, loosening his grip just enough. I wrench free and collapse to my knees, sucking in air. My throat burns and I retch, but I am free. Jacob staggers back with a snarl, one hand pressed to his bleeding eye. A dark viscous fluid seeps between his fingers, not red but black. You! He snarls, and when he pulls his hand away, his left eye is a solid jet black orb in a socket of raw red. The thing inside him is surfacing. His voice comes out in a guttural rasp, layered with that otherworldly echo. You cannot escape your fate. His silhouette looms through the smoke and darkness, poised to strike again. I need something, anything, to turn the tide. My eyes dart around and land on the desk. The candles, the journal, and an ornate silver dagger among the clutter. On pure instinct, I lunge for it, snatching the dagger into my hand. Jacob lets out a chilling laugh that crackles with that double-voiced timbre. You think a toy will save you? He snarls. Father's little relic won't stop what's coming. He strides forward as I back up against the desk. In a split-second decision, I swing my free arm across the desktop, knocking over the oil lamp sitting there. It shatters at his feet, and flame blossoms up in a sudden whoosh. Firelight leaps between us, catching on scattered papers and the edge of a curtain. Jacob recoils, momentarily startled by the burst of light and heat, the shadows around him skittering back. With a desperate shout, I drive the dagger forward across the fire and straight into his chest. He howls. This time the cry is both man and beast, a chorus of agony. The force of his thrashing knocks me back. He stumbles, pulling the dagger out, and black ichor gushes from the wound, sizzling as drops hit the fire. The flames between us roar higher, catching the edges of old books and papers. Within seconds, the entire desk is ablaze. The fire spreads hungrily to the curtains and along the symbols on the walls as if devouring the darkness painted there. Jacob falls to his knees, still clutching the bloody ritual blade. The shadows around him are writhing chaotically. One moment I see the outline of my brother, the next, a towering, spindly silhouette seems to envelop him, sprouting horn-like projections. The thing inside him is trying to manifest, even as his body is failing. I feel a sudden sympathy mingled with revulsion. In the end, he too is a victim of our father's madness. But I cannot let that pity stop me now. Summoning a shout from deep within, I rush through the acrid smoke and throw my shoulder against him. Caught off guard, Jacob, or what he's becoming, topples backwards through the doorway and out onto the landing at the top of the stairs. We crash onto the landing in a heap. He is monstrously heavy, as if that creeping shadow inside has real weight. Flames have spilled out into the hall behind me, licking at the wallpaper. The house is catching fire faster than I expected, dry old wood feeding the blaze. Jacob's hands scrabble at me, each finger leaving a searing cold where it touches, as if drawing heat out of my flesh. He pins me down, his face hovering above mine. It's half inhuman now, one eye a black pit and leaking tarry tears, the other still eerily like mine and wide with fury. Jagged teeth that no human should have gleam as he opens his mouth in a snarl. The dagger lies protruding from his chest, and wisps of darkness pour from the wound like smoke. "If I go, I'm taking you with me," he rasps. The voice that issues from that maw is layered with echoes from beyond the veil of reality. It rattles the very bones of the house. Above us, the ceiling timbers crack. Fire is eating through the structure. Embers rain down, singeing my skin. The heat is intensifying and the air fills with smoke. With a surge of resolve, I twist beneath him. My hand finds the tire iron on the floor nearby, the one I dropped earlier, now miraculously within reach. I grab it and swing upward with every ounce of strength and terror-fueled fury left in me. The iron bar connects with the side of Jacob's skull with a sickening crunch. He reels, and I hit him again, smashing into temple and jaw. He slumps off me, collapsing onto the top of the stairs. I scramble up, coughing in the smoke. The flames have reached the hallway, roaring at our backs. Jacob tries to rise, but his limbs spasm. The shadowy aura around him flickers wildly, as if a black flame guttering in the wind. "It's over," I manage to croak out, staggering away from the approaching fire. My eyes sting and my lungs scream for clean air. He lifts his head and for a final moment, I see my twin brother as he once might have been, a frightened, angry man left alone too long. His face is a ruin of blood and soot and despair. "Never over," he gurgles. Then the floor beneath him, weakened by flame, gives way with a deafening crack. I lunge backward as the center of the landing collapses. Jacob's body plunges down with the crumbling wood into the inferno raging below. I catch a last glimpse of that dark, thrashing silhouette as it's swallowed by fire. An inhuman screech pierces the night, rising above the roar of flames, a sound of rage, pain, and perhaps something like fear. Then, as suddenly as it came, the cry is cut off. Jacob, along with whatever malevolent force lived in him, disappears in the conflagration. Heat and smoke drive me back. The entire house is an enraged furnace now. I stumble down the stairs, nearly losing my footing where half the steps have collapsed. Gasping, covering my mouth with an elbow, I manage to find the front door and spill out onto the porch. Cool night air fills my lungs, and I half fall, half run into the yard. The sky is a riot of stars and a rising orange moon. I collapse a safe distance away on the overgrown lawn and watch the Bellamy house burn. The flames roar upward, and for a moment it seems like I can see shapes twisting and writhing in them, faces screaming in the pyre. Maybe it's just my traumatized mind projecting horrors, or maybe the entities that haunted this place are being purged in fire. As I catch my breath in ragged gulps, the night insects and distant frogs cautiously resume their chorus, as if nature itself is sighing in relief. The fire will surely draw attention soon, neighbors, fire trucks, maybe even Sheriff Doug. But at this moment, I'm alone with the burning legacy of my family. I struggle to my feet, knees shaking. In the distance, I hear the first wail of a siren. Someone must have seen the glow and called for help. I know I should wait, explain what happened. At least some version of it. But my mind is reeling, and I fear that if I try to recount it now, it will sound like lunacy. Headlights cut down the old lane, Doug's patrol car leading a fire engine, likely. Gathering myself, I realize I have to walk forward, to meet them and whatever comes next. But as I turn away from the blaze, I notice a small shape on the ground by my feet. It's the old photograph from the hallway, blown out of the house in the chaos, now singed at the edges. I pick it up gingerly. In the picture, my mother smiles with two innocent newborns in her arms. A family that existed only for a moment, in the brief space between birth and fate. The firelight dances on the photo's cracked surface. Rest now, I whisper, not sure if I'm speaking to Jacob, or our father, or the lost innocence captured in that image. I fold the photo and tuck it in my jacket pocket. As Sheriff Doug leaps from his car, shouting my name, I raise a hand to signal I'm all right. I'm exhausted, smoke-stained, and bleeding from a dozen cuts, but I'm alive. The night sky above is vast and indifferent, the stars cold in their distant fires. Somewhere behind them, perhaps, cosmic entities stir in frustration at being denied entry into this world tonight. I stare up at the heavens, at that nearly full moon, and wonder if I'll ever truly be free of the darkness that spawned from my family's legacy. But one thing I know, I faced the nightmare and survived. The other half of me, the living nightmare, has been defeated. And whatever comes, I am myself. For the first time in my life, I am whole, and I am alone. Sometimes, being alone is a gift.
If you enjoyed this video, please do not forget to like, comment, or share this video with your friends. Subscribe to our channel to hear more stories like this one.